chapter 5. Let me just get there, and then we are going to just be ongoing. I'm live on across my social platforms. At Hope FM Live is where you can get me. This is the story of the demon-possessed man that was healed by Jesus Christ. They came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gadarenes, and when he had come out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no one would bind him, not even with chains, because he had often been bound with shackles and chains, and the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broken in pieces. Neither could anyone tame him. And always night and day he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying out and cutting himself with stones. When when he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and worshipped him, because every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. And so this one that is just running to him is not necessarily the man. It's the thing that is inside of him that acknowledges who Jesus is. And so when he saw Jesus from far, he ran and worshipped him, and he cried out with a loud voice and said, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you by God that you do not torment me." For he said to him, "Come out of the man, unclean spirit." And he asked him, "What is your name?" And he answered, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And also he begged Jesus earnestly that he would not send him out of the country. Now a large herd of swine was feeding there near the mountain. So all the demons begged him, saying, "Send us to the swine that we may enter them." And at once Jesus gave them permission. Then the unclean spirits went out and entered the swine. There were about 2,000, and the herd ran violently down the steep place into the sea and drowned in the sea. So those who fed the swine fled. And they told it in the city and the country, and they went out to see what it was that had happened. And when they came to Jesus, they saw one who had been demon-possessed and had the legion, sitting and clothed in his right mind, and they were afraid. And those who saw it told them how it happened to him, and who had been demon-possessed about the swine. They began to plead with him to depart from their region. They were so shocked, they were so amazed. And some people that even plead with Jesus to go is because they don't want the freedom to come upon the city. Not everyone, by the way, wants freedom. Some people rejoice when others are oppressed because someone has to, quote unquote, carry that affliction. And so they were telling Jesus, "Depart from the region." They did not see the good that had come. They were just seeing the deliverance that had come and how it would spoil for other people who were actually serving the kingdom of darkness. And when he got into the boat, he who had been demon-possessed begged him that he might be with him. But Jesus did not permit him, but he said to him, "Go home to your friends and tell them what great things the Lord has done for you and how he has had compassion for you." And he departed and began to proclaim in Decapolis. Decapolis means 10 cities, all that Jesus had done for him, and all were marveled. This is a story of a person. Anytime you see, especially when you're moving around, because we live in a time where I'm sure from time to time you see these people who are called mad people. And I'm quoting that because some people, they didn't just run mad. I know we have these names of mental illnesses and conditions that are supposed to do ABCD, but I'm telling you, not people just don't wake up and run mad like that. Some people, it's the agenda of the enemy. Like this man, he was housing an entire band of demons in the city of Decapolis. And so some people will just choose someone. Some evil people, some demonic people will just choose someone, and they will decide this is the person that is going to bear the burden and the affliction so that someone else can prosper. And so when you follow up these cases from time to time, especially where the community I come from, you'll just hear, so and so did this, and they were, wakarushiwa majini, wakarogwa, especially us that come from Mukambani. These are conversations that we hear from time to time. And for a fact, someone was doing so well in school. Someone was a grade A student. Someone was doing so well in life, in university. And one day they just wake up and they don't want school, and they start going mad and running naked all across. And we call this a normal thing, a mental illness. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't seek intervention. I'm not trying to disqualify the place of medications and these kinds of people that are qualified, but I'm saying we also need to be very spiritual concerning these matters. Because some people have just been burdened by the enemy to carry out a certain agenda. When the devil is trying to find a place to use, a vessel to use, they will first make these people, some of these people will go mad so that they can house the enemy. And so this man was not the one that was kneeling before Jesus. He's not the one that recognized Jesus from afar. No, it was the people and the things that he was carrying or housing inside of him. And they went and they knelt and they said, please don't trouble us, Jesus. Don't send us out of this country. Don't send us out of this area, this locality. Because that affliction was supposed to remain in that location, according to the enemy. But we see Jesus, loving Jesus. This story moves me so much to see the love of God so much, because Jesus crossed over with his disciples just to rescue this one man, just to deliver him. So when we're talking about the great deliverance power of God, it is so powerful. God is so powerful that he can change a person that was even running mad or had already run mad or crazy and was now being used by the enemy to push another kind of an agenda. God can come and rescue that person and deliver them completely because he's able. And so Jesus crosses over just for this man, and he cures him and he heals him. And when people came to see Jesus and see what had happened, they saw a man that was living in the tombs, a man that was afflicting himself. He was cutting himself with stones. He was as good as dead, but they see him dressed decently, a man with sanity. And they wonder, what just happened? And this same man is the man that God uses in the city of Decapolis. He says to Jesus, let me follow you. Jesus says, no, don't follow me. Don't follow me. Go and tell the people. Go tell your friends. Go tell the 10 cities what has happened to you. If someone today is rescued from the streets, those people that we see as we're moving around and they're so dirty and some of them are just so disturbed, Others, I even see that the enemy has put, I observe these people so much. I see that the enemy has even put a crown on them. You will see them wearing some certain kind of hats. You'll see them carrying some kinds of things. And when you observe, you just see there is a message that the enemy is trying to send, even in that town, in that place that you're living in. But God, if he delivers that person that, we call, those people we call mad who live in the streets, if he delivers even one of them or two of them, their message enough is, even when you just see them, that's a preaching by itself. And so Jesus went for this man and he left him to go and preach, because he knew when people see that this once mad person is now preaching the gospel, who will not believe? Except the devil himself. And so this morning, we're talking about the power of God that is able to deliver. If God could deliver such a person, I don't think there's an affliction bigger and beyond what this man was going through. He was so possessed. He was in such kind of a misery that he didn't even know himself. But God moved to the other side, and he touched him and he delivered him, and he brought him back to his mind and into his senses, and he left him to go and preach the gospel. There is nothing that is impossible with our God this morning. And may God do wonders even for us and concerning our situations in Jesus' name.